Yo, 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 yo. Hey, welcome back, family. This is the Who You Talking To show. I am Olehead Rell, here with the Glizzy Gobbler himself. Olehead Senior, my pops, love you to death. Uh, we got I think we got a good one lined up. Yeah, we got a good one lined up. We're talking about male accountability, right? Oftentimes you hear women aren't accountable, which I don't disagree with that. You know what I mean? The She doesn't necessarily tell you that she apologized, she's sorry for what she did, and da, 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 da. You know what I mean? There's a lot of at this point the I don't know what word I want to use. The disdain for women is very loud.
Is it
The
this?
critique
Yeah.
is very loud. And so today I think that it just makes sense to talk about like are we as men actually being accountable?
We ain't got no choice.
You gonna jump?
We ain't got no choice. They hold our feet. See, we are held to a different standard
Hmm.
when it comes to accountability than they are. For example, if I call you and I ask you to do me a favor, well, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and I say, let's just say, I'm moving some furniture. I say, oh, hey, you gonna come over here and help me? Will you come over here and help me
I'm gonna say fuck no.
move this chair?
I'm not
And
gonna be able to do it.
you gonna say fuck no. But then I'm gonna say, I can't do it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I might hurt myself, my back. I have a problem with my back sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now you gonna come and help me because you ain't gonna want me fucked up. Cause see, at the entrance of the show, you said you love me.
Mm.
So if you love me, you ain't
Right,
gonna
right,
let
right,
me
right,
fuck
right,
my
right, right,
back up.
right. I understand.
So now, since we got back to the right place where I was trying to be in the
Uh-huh.
beginning, we moved the chair. Then usually when you move in a chair, there's a couple more chairs that match that chair. You know what I mean? You gonna want to move them where you put the other
Yeah, big
chair.
facts. Big facts. Yeah,
But
you got to.
I didn't tell you we was gonna move those other two chairs. I said a chair.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you we need to move them other two chairs, would you help me move them? But in your mind, because I said a chair, you come over here thinking you finna move one chair.
One.
One.
Yeah.
But now when you get over here, we need to move three chairs. Okay, fine. You're gonna be hot. You're gonna be hot.
Sound like some shit you was
Then
getting
you
off. Go
man,
ahead. Go ahead.
hey,
Some shit. It sounded like some shit you
hey,
had to get off.
hey, if anybody, when I get through with what I'm saying, if anybody disagree or got a different opinion about it, please chime in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, we done went through that little incident. You hot. You left hot. Because you didn't come to move three chairs. You came to move one.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I call you and say, help me with something, I got 4, 5 other things I want you to help me with.
Yeah, they're trying to get off. Yeah,
And
yeah.
trying to get off.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, you're gonna be like, fuck that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And so you go ahead, go ahead. I want you to. So you're saying that men, we've always had to be accountable. That's your
Yes.
argument.
Yes. Yes. Because that's wrong. It's wrong of me to call you and ask you to come help me move a thing or do a thing. And then when you get here, I got 3, 4 other things I want you to help me with.
So let's back
So
off of the
then,
specific. Let's back off of the specific scenario that you're talking about. Let's just speak more in general. So, do you feel that men in general are accountable? Like we have been accountable for our actions, for you know what I mean, for the things that we've done. You know what I mean, do you think that in general that men are accountable?
we are accountable as much as they let us be accountable.
Who?
Women.
We're accountable as much as women allow us to be accountable.
Yeah, because they want you to tell the truth, but they don't want to hear the truth.
Mm.
And depending on the circumstances of the situation, you ask for something you don't want. They do it all the fucking time. They ask you for one thing, but you're supposed to be psychic and then give them the other thing that they really want.
Hmm.
It's just part of it. You know what I mean? But us as men, if we say, okay, baby, when you go to the store, pick me up this.
Mhm.
That's all we want. That's it. We want that thing. That's
Right.
it. But a woman will send you to the store to get something. And then when you saw that, you know I wouldn't like that. Something wrong with it. You know what I mean? Then they assume that you should have had the foresight
Mm.
to make that judgment call and bring them the better one.
Okay.
See, that's them not being accountable for what they say.
Mhm.
Is that not true?
Okay, so I'm just gonna drop it to you. So what I think is, I think that we talk a lot about women, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're very loud at this point, the same way that they were. You know what I mean, in the previous times, like we heard niggas ain't shit. We done heard plenty of different things, but at the same time, I think that we've created the monster.
How so?
I think that as men, we have created the monster that we have to deal with, like generationally. And I remember before a few episodes before I asked you the question, do you think that men in my at my age have to deal with the things that y'all did? And you said yes. I think that at the same time, we actually haven't been accountable for the creation that we've made. The whole idea of the looseness and like women not being as soft and as feminine, and you know what I mean. We've not necessarily set precedents for them to be themselves in that natural feminine form. So they've had to evolve, which is a, I would say maybe it is a repercussion, or it is like the evolution of the woman is based on the evolution of a man, in my opinion. So
So
we, I think that we bred this, the generations, you know what I mean, the things that the mom, the things that what y'all did
so
to
what
their
you
moms.
trying to say is that their moms wasn't doing the fuckery that the women today are doing, and that's our fault.
No, no, no. What I'm saying is that the way that they validate the things they do is based on the things that we've done.
The way they validate it.
Right. The way they validate it. So to say, like, a woman, they say, like, in today's time, it's crazy because a lot of women, you will hear them say like they fucking us, right? And you will see a
So
lot of
we,
different.
so we, no, fuck that. You ain't
Go
finna
ahead.
glaze over that shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you saying that we taught them, or from because of our actions,
Hmm.
that they decide that we no longer fucking them, they fucking us.
What I'm saying is that if you if you subjugate a specific population of people to a certain thing, when they're that subjugation, there's also talking about that thing. There's a understanding that they're going to talk about it with each other, and then the outcome of the next the evolution of that thing is something that is a product of what you make.
So, so when the women of our time, my
Hmm.
time, when the women of my time was out here doing the fuck shit that they was doing, some of the same fuck shit women do today, that was because of us. That wasn't their character. We was changing them.
I would say the generation before. So essentially, what I'm saying is that the even men. So let's take away women, right? So the men that the men, okay, in my generation, the men that we become, let's say in parenting, we become the men we've become because of the parenting that y'all did or the lack thereof, right? So it's not because we just out of nowhere have become these great men as far as like wanting to be in our kids' life and such a, you know what I mean? That is a product of what our mothers went through with you all, right? So at the end of the day, uh, uh, and Johnny tried to act like, oh, you were saying that you were this trauma in it because you decided to communicate more with your kids. And no, no, no. What I would say is that like the evolution of the female dynamic is not completely separated from what we have done and what we have said and what the culture has pushed.
The culture. Okay, I can agree with the culture. I can agree with the culture,
But
but
who
I
creates
can't
the
agree.
culture?
I can't agree
Who
with the
creates the
fact.
culture?
I can't agree with the fact that because women out here wanting to hang with their goddamn daughters, shake ass with their daughters, fuck the same dudes as their daughters,
Mm.
that's got something to do with us. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, bruh. The fuck you gonna tell me that because y'all want to do this fuckery that y'all doing, that it's because we did something wrong?
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think that like the idea, like so the idea of my grandparent or the grandparents, right? So let's say your grandparents. Remember stoicism and the woman not working, quote unquote. I think the black woman has always worked. So there's a bit of the story that's not told in its real form. But the idea of the thing is that uh Pops always had another John. He had a whole household over there, right? The cheating
Okay.
always had a household over
Mhm.
there, and the women weren't able to work, right?
Mhm.
And so they were subjugated to the patriarchy, right? And so you don't think so?
No, no. That didn't have a damn thing to do with men. That had to do with the government. The government made them.
I understand what you're
Okay, so
saying
what are
about the
you saying?
government. What I'm saying is that even let's say the government plays the part, we are also vessels that move in the way.
The
You mean I'm not
the
saying
government is the one that made women tougher, made women that act like they can it all.
mm,
When they living off of I got them and theirs, because they, like you say, women have always worked in some form.
black women
Black women have always worked in some form.
for sure.
So therefore, you got the government that's housing you, feeding you,
Mhm,
and doing every fucking thing that the man used to do,
mhm.
and then tell you to kick the motherfucking man out. Now the man the goddamn problem.
So let me ask you this: do you think that, and this is a question, the open-ended question? Do you believe that if men were doing, and let's say, actually trying to build this house, like this family thing, like you know what I
Mhm.
mean, if they were actually doing that, do you think that a woman would have as easily decided to allow for the government to do it instead of having the man?
Okay, I'm gonna answer your question with the question. What fucking woman do you know that don't want every goddamn thing? So hell no is your answer. They want it all. What the fuck is you talking about? This motherfucker finna give me a house. He finna feed me and my motherfucking kids. I ain't gotta go to goddamn work, and I ain't gotta put up with this nigga if I don't want to. But when I want to put up with him, I can put up with him. And he better bring some bread to the table too. They want it all.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So you're saying what you think that it's like so you think that women have evolved in that way just off of just
Society led them in that direction. We didn't help none by doing the shit that we do.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? But it
right.
was their decision to want every motherfucking thing.
I'm
Because I don't care what you say.
mhm.
It ain't now one of them motherfuckers that lived in Fairview Homes or any of these other goddamn projects would have left that motherfucker for you.
Nah, big facts.
So what are you
If you
saying?
can't compete,
You
it's the
can't
idea of
compete.
not compete financially. It's the
Exactly.
financial
It's that's
part of it.
right. That's right,
Yeah.
bro.
So you telling me, okay, So you're telling me that you don't believe that the culture that men have created amongst them ourselves,
Mhm.
this the whole having multiple
It ain't
women.
never fucking changed. They the one changed. We didn't change.
Hold on. But
Okay.
of course, they the one change. But are they adapting to what we had created?
No, 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 no.
Bro, you can't sit here and tell me you don't think that like that is so. What I'm saying is that correlation and causation are two different things. Just because it correlates the same way, we're gonna talk about this tomorrow on the To
Okay.
Be Fair show.
Okay.
So the idea is that, do you think that if you okay, so I'll ask this question. Do you think that there were women that didn't decide to allow the government to take the place of the man in the household? And why do you think those women did that? If they did, if you think that they did, why would they keep the man instead of allowing the government to take his place? There were some women that did keep the man instead of the government taking over, even though he couldn't do what they was doing and all these different things. There were women that did. So what do you think the attributes of those men were? And then compare those attributes to the other man that what you saw was the norm. What
This,
niggas that was,
this,
so you saying black people?
no, this.
So you saying being married?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
okay, so
Yes.
say it. What exactly are you saying? Being
Yeah.
married is what?
Those women
Married
had
women.
husbands.
Okay.
They had husbands. They wasn't no different. They didn't get treated. Now, they don't get me wrong. There was some dudes, and I applaud you if that's the way you. I don't really applaud you because really, my thing is that we are hunters. They are the prey. So I'm gonna leave that alone though. But that's
Okay.
my point of view. So I don't really applaud you because you stayed with one woman and yada yada yada. Because I don't believe you did. I guarantee
Nigga,
you.
that's something to be applauded. You saying that you don't applaud
Because
a
I
man that had the
guarantee.
discipline to stay with one woman?
No, 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 no. It wasn't the state. Women leave men. Men don't leave women. Usually.
Right.
Okay. So therefore, the shit that he was doing, she put up with it and waited, like my grandma did. Like my grandma did.
Okay.
So, because as we get older, we let that bullshit go. We let it go. A little bit at a time, we let that shit go. And then we at home with mama. She still doing what she been doing, and she happy. And she know, women know at some point the nigga gonna set his ass down. And we are.
Mm.
We are. They just waited on it. Because they didn't want to be alone. Don't nobody want to be alone. But they
what you're
figured
saying,
this nigga, whatever he had going on, whatever they had going on together was worth. She made a conscious decision that it was worth her staying there and putting up with his shit. Because if you go out there and get you another one, he gonna have the same bullshit. Now, I ain't saying it ain't some dudes that's just,
and
but
that's what I was gonna ask you.
them type dudes, women don't usually want.
You saying dudes that are faithful?
Them, no. I'm saying the kind of dudes that are usually faithful.
Mm.
The real faithful niggas is usually the ones that didn't get no pussy. So they get that one piece and they like, I hit the jackpot.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So he know how hard it was to get that because he lame. He
what you said?
he know how hard it was to get that, and he ain't wanting to go back out there and try it again. He say, shit, hell, if I can, you know what I mean? She check off these boxes. What's the
Okay.
what's the odds that
Then
I'm
I'll
gonna go
get
out
another
there
one.
and find another one
Okay.
that's gonna have more boxes checked off?
So, and this is my question. So, like, listening to your logic, right? The way you've come to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you not think that the reason why the women feel like they're kind of like shifting the thing, like, no, I'm not a hoe, I got hoes. Do you not think that the reason that they're shaping the thing the way is a result of what we've been doing?
Bruh, I'm gonna tell you like this.
Mm-hmm.
Women have always fucked other niggas too.
Mm.
They have, bruh. They just was more slick about it. They planned the thing out. I listened to a brother say that goddamn his girl used to text him the grocery list.
Mm.
Have him to go to the grocery store, pick up all this shit. Now, you sharp. You came up with this motherfucker right here. Send this nigga the grocery list. This nigga goes to the grocery list. She send him the money. Or she give it to him when she get there. Always did. Go to the grocery store, pick up all this shit. She know how much time it takes, and he do, whoever buddy is sitting at the crib, know how much time it usually take for her to go to the grocery store, pick these things up, and be back to the house.
Mm-hmm.
So when she get to his crib, the grocery bags are on his table, waiting on her. They know how much time they got. She back at house at the time she was supposed to be there. Buddy don't know a damn thing. She got the groceries. Well, you gonna question that? Shit, that's the kind of effort they put in when they doing some shit. We go straight to get there. Men are linear. If I'm going to get something, I'm going to get what I'm going to get. You talk about making up all this, you know what I mean? Doing all this here to get there, to get what you, we want trying. We going to get what we going for. You think I'm going to go climb a tree?
A tree?
Yeah, I'm just saying. You think I'm going to go climb a tree and sit there and wait for the prey to come to me, and it may not come, and I can see some over there that I can go over there and get? No, because if I sit in the tree, I got to be patient. I got to wait. I got to wait till it get close enough. I got to understand how fast it moves so I know it to pounce at the right time. And I'm going to go over there. I can outrun your ass. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to yank your ass up and get what I want and get the hell on back. That's how we think. And, I know that's a crazy analogy, the way I said that or whatever, but you get the point. Women, they're going to sit back in the cut. They're going to be like them cats, real cat. You know how they sit there and they just wait. Mm-hmm. You be other, you see them, they be.
And they
creep. Yeah, creep. And then they wait. And they playing. And they watch how you move. And then they playing the whole shit out.
I don't even think it's that serious.
Man,
I think that honestly, this is my opinion, and we're gonna go back to the top. But my opinion is, I think that men generally don't check as much as women do.
Don't check what?
We don't check. We don't try to find the cheating as much as they do. They're geared to look to be victims, so that
that's because they are the prey. They don't have to find no cheating.
What do you mean?
They don't have to find no nigga that wants some footer.
Right.
Every nigga you walking down the street wants some.
No, for sure.
So we hunting. We got to go and convince and talk and do all that. They got to convince you to fuck them.
No.
So what are you saying?
No, what I'm saying is that the only thing I'm saying is that the difference between the way men cheat, what they say is that women cheat much
smarter.
Smart.
They cheat smarter.
I think that
they cheat just as much. They cheat smarter.
What I'm saying is that the difference between the male and female way of doing the thing is that men aren't going to necessarily go and try to find it. Women automatically play that victim role, and not even say play the victim role. I think that it's like so it's like the idea of like the black and white shit, right? Mm-hmm. So like black people and white people. So black people, we know the history, so we automatically consider ourselves victims to the system, right? It's the same way with women. So like, it's the idea of looking for the thing,
and we demonize white people. Because of what we know,
for sure.
They demonize us
exactly. So that's how I call it that way.
That's exactly.
And so I think that that's the reason why you feel that like we would feel that like women cheat smarter is because they're naturally feeling like the victim, so they search for the victimhood. As a man, you don't necessarily want to know as much as they want to, and you're not just seeking out being a victim.
Because if you look for something hard enough, you're gonna find
But at the
something.
same time, do you think that there's a reason? Do you, this is my thing. I think that we also create the monster that we complain about. So, like the idea of like social media, right? Instagram, IG, whatever, whatever.
I ain't grow up with that shit.
But I'm just you grew up with prostitution.
Oh yeah,
So if imagine if niggas didn't pay for pussy,
my
right?
daddy did, and his
No, no, I'm
daddy
just saying.
did.
But hold on, if niggas didn't pay for pussy, would pussy
Mhm.
be for sale?
If there's no market for said thing, then there'll be no.
Right. So at the same time, if niggas ain't going to the OnlyFans, and if niggas
Mhm.
ain't liking the picture of the thing that
Mhm.
the thing is that we don't necessarily want shorty. We looking at shorty for sex or this body type and thing. We looking at sexually, but not old lady shit.
No,
But we're confusing them. They don't know that that's fucking and this is old lady. We're confusing them. So that's what I'm asking. Do you think that we're creating the monster that we complain about? There's also some intricacies in actual relationships that you know what I mean that are something to complain about. But like in the broad scheme of it, do you think that we're creating the monster and the generation before us continue we are continuing to create the monster that we're complaining about? And now at the point where you're at now, it's like when you talk about like no the religious like Christianity is not a thing in the community as much. We don't shun the behaviors like we used to.
because
And
we find out we can see and we can there's proof where we can figure out how to find it because of the internet. Far as that Christian thing go, that it's a whole bunch of lies.
yeah,
It's a
but
whole bunch of lies.
beyond. See, you talking
So
about critiquing
now,
the actual religion.
I,
I'm talking about the morality that was pushed in the culture. Of course, everybody that people fucked up, but there was a condemnation that was shown and that was excuse me that was against certain behaviors.
I'm gonna okay, and that's true, and that's true.
And
There was, but
mhm,
I'm gonna tell you like this right here: if a woman gonna do something,
mhm,
she has already thought that thing through. She's not like us. So
agreed.
we didn't cause her to do a damn thing.
Hmm.
She made a conscious decision to do it. I'm not taking the blame.
So you don't think the cosign? See, the thing is that
Cosign,
the cosign is the like, right?
the cosign is the like.
In today's time, the
Okay.
cosign is the
Mhm.
like,
Okay.
right? So like what you will see is a motherfucker that ain't worth a plug, right? Well, we don't. This woman, she been done dealt with hella niggas, and you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Even we know this,
Yeah.
but she has the figure that
Mhm.
is likable.
Yeah.
So we like the thing. We like it. That little heart when you scrolling, that little heart, that, in my opinion, is pushing them to continuously do the thing.
But we didn't she put the shit out there for you to see.
But
That didn't
because
have nothing to do with
so,
us.
but let me ask you this: do you think that she doesn't put it there because she knows that you will like it? Because if you don't
A
like it,
woman that goes
it
all the way back. That goes all the way back to my time.
oh
A
beyond your
woman
time.
wouldn't throw that carrot in your face if she knew you wasn't gonna buy it.
Mhm.
If she ain't gonna put it in your face, if she knew that you wasn't gonna buy it, she wouldn't waste her time. She ain't dumb. She wouldn't
Yeah,
waste her time. So she put her picture on there for the purpose of catching a fish. Let's just say she was fishing. She
right.
put that on there to catch a fish.
Absolutely, it's
And
bait.
then when we push that like button, she caught a fish.
Mhm,
So, but initially,
mhm.
initially, it was her decision to put it up there.
So the
Women always want a man. Now, whether she want a man for marriage or for whatever she want, money or whatever she want him for, she, I ain't gonna say necessarily is groomed, But society puts that in her head that
Mhm.
you do these things and you're going to get a man. Now, if you, depending on what type of man you want, it's how you move. That's a conscious decision that she made. It ain't have a damn thing to do with what I did.
No, but
She
I don't believe
decided,
that.
she decided she wanted this thing.
The thing, you know what I believe,
It's
and it's the same thing like what we do. You would say that, and you agreed that like the way that like for me, I created and like the things that I wanted to wear, the type of guy, the way I present myself. I present myself in a way that the women that I like a nigga to look. So, do you not think that it's the same thing on its head? It's this exact same
bruh,
thing.
you did the
So,
same thing the woman do.
no, no, we
You did the
naturally
same
do
thing
it.
the woman do.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right. Because you
We
want the woman,
naturally
right?
we naturally do that. So if men started to lead, right? Lead and dick discipline. We talked about wick discipline last week. If we, do you not think that if we had a discipline, which we understand that we are supposed to lead the culture forward, do you agree? Do you think
Yes.
that it's a man's job to lead family, to lead, which
Yes.
means that we lead culture,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So if we don't have the discipline to actually like, because we understand what the like does in today's time, right? We understand what the like does. We understand what, wherever we pay our attention to, the more attention the women want to be, what is going to be more attention that's going to pay, you mean that's whatever it is that to get paid more attention, they're going to fit that archetype,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we know that, do you think that it is on us to change the culture, or are we waiting for them to change themselves, which will change the culture? So to me, I think that it's bullshit that we sit there and I understand. Like at the end of the day, I understand that like we can blame easily. There's a lot to nitpick and these type of things. We can critique to the depth of it. You know what I mean? All the way down to the fucking skeleton, we critique. But at the end of the day, I feel like as men, the the less disciplined we are, the society will show less discipline because we are supposed to be the leaders.
So basically, what I get out of what you're saying
Mhm.
is you're supposed to find this flower, woman, this flower. You're supposed
Supposed
to
to find the flower. Okay, go ahead.
a
Continue.
woman. You
Go
find
ahead.
a woman. You
Continue.
she
Continue.
ain't just got
Just
there.
continue.
Okay. You find the flower.
Mhm.
When you find said flower, you're supposed to do the same thing we've been doing already. Is you're supposed to be getting yourself together, getting your bread up so that you can take care of your family once you find the one you want and start a family with,
Mhm.
right? So if if that's true, then that means you're gonna marry the first piece of nana that you get.
Why does that mean that?
Why does that mean that?
What,
It's because you're not just gonna be sowing your
no,
oats.
no, no, no.
You
You,
just gonna wait on this one person.
yeah, I don't
You're
know how
gonna
you
wait on
got to.
this
I
one
don't know how you
person.
got out over there.
So if we're the problem and we supposed to change
No, no, no.
and be this man that don't look at uh 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 uh, uh IG and the women and push the like button, and
Mhm.
we just supposed to set an example as to be the best, man we can be or whatever, then
Mhm.
that means we're not fucking with nobody because we're waiting on her.
No, 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 no,
Okay,
no,
so how
no,
do
no,
you
no,
do
no,
both?
no, 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 no. So what I'm saying is that we can create the what is acceptable, the presentation wise. So there's a certain type of woman that like, as we know this, nigga, we
If you
know. Hold
change
on,
your
hold on, hold on,
baby,
hold on. First off, see the thing is where it is that we're there. There's a gray area that they don't necessarily understand. I believe this, that there's a gray area that they don't necessarily understand. When we see certain attributes, that mean drop.
mm-hmm,
Other attributes mean wife.
mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Right. But they can't see the difference because we like both.
Yeah, but we like
Hold on,
both. We like
no,
both
no,
for
no.
different reasons, though.
Of course, but what I'm saying is that the interpretation of the thing is that that's getting more
So,
attention. What we'll normally see. Go ahead.
so it's our job to make sure that they interpret
It's
said
our
thing
job to
the way
lead.
that we.
It's our job to lead. It's our job to lead. At the end of the day, of
But you
course,
gotta have a
it's like
family to lead.
you have to have a family to lead. No, I don't.
So
I
you
believe,
saying lead the culture in its
I think that means we are supposed to
okay,
lead the culture.
okay, so you trying to tell me that these hoes out here that's selling pussy
Mm.
and the ones that's uh 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 doing the photos and stuff like that, just selling the quote. It's like a porn magazines back in the day,
Mhm.
except it's just a live person.
Yeah, like the OnlyFans thing.
The OnlyFans thing.
Okay.
Them girls right there don't know that if they want to be a wife to a man, that's not gonna get them there. You telling me that they not smart enough to know that?
I
That
think
we
that
supposed to lead them to know that?
no. Oh no, no. I
They
understand.
paper chasers, bro. They want it all.
I
They
understand.
want to get this bread right now and go buy all this stuff they want to
Mhm.
buy.
Right.
Then before they get to that whatever age they got in their mind where they're gonna be too late, they want to just jump out
And get married.
and get married.
Yeah.
Just nigga just going, oh, I want you.
Mhm.
When you all over the internet. We can't lead that. That's their decision. That's not us. That's not us. The women that want a man, the kind of woman you talking about, that one that we would, you look at it, you say, oh yeah, she wife material. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a damn if they ass flat as a motherfucking board, or it's voluptuous.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. They don't really care. What they care about is the type of man that they're gonna get. And so they're gonna be a certain type of woman. That's a decision. That ain't got nothing to do with us. It ain't nothing wrong with us.
So let me ask you this: if that was I just hit the drum. If we were to lead the culture in a
How do you lead it though?
no, I'm just asking if we were to decide that we want to push the culture forward. Do you think that it's on women to push the culture forward, or do you think it's on men to lead the culture forward?
I think it's on men to lead the culture forward. But you
Okay.
know what though? Getting some drop it off ain't gonna change the way you lead your family.
I absolutely disagree. I think that I absolutely disagree. Absolutely, because it's if you it's hard to sit there and say that we can have families and build units and like generational, like people talk about generational wealth. That's something that's like you can't just be a 9 times out of 10 in order to build generational wealth. You ain't gonna do it yourself. This is something that's gonna have to be a thing, and then at some point it becomes generational wealth, right? In
What
order
you're
to keep
saying is
family
it's
together.
generation to generation making strides in that direction.
Right.
Okay, but then it's the same thing.
So what I'm saying is that it takes a level of discipline, right? And we can't sit here and act like monogamy is not what the fuck all what the women want. They want monogamy to consistently. If you want to stay with your family and have your kids in the household with you, monogamy is the way to go. Unless you go get a woman that's gonna be polygamous and just it's just not enough of them. That's I mean, we in the Western culture, that's not really a thing like that. So in order to push the culture forward, you're going to have to lead in a way that still abides by the cultural norms.
Well, then, oh, hey, you just went back. You just
Went back to what?
to what I said.
Which is what?
That means you're gonna find a woman,
Mhm.
and you and her gonna get together. Y'all gonna bang, 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 make kids, get married, all that kind of stuff,
Uh-huh.
and you not gonna do nothing with nobody else.
I don't know. I ain't know you said that already,
I
but
already said that, bruh.
No, but
I said you gonna find a woman,
okay.
and if you
So just
carry
imagine.
yourself,
Oh,
if
wait,
you
the point.
carry yourself as a certain type of person,
Mhm.
then you're not gonna be just dropping off, right? Okay, so you're not dropping off. So that means you waiting on this one woman, and
This woman.
when you find her, y'all gonna get married, have children, and all this, and you ain't gonna never touch another woman.
Mhm.
That's what you saying. You think our culture should go to?
No, what I'm saying, I think our culture should go to whatever is beneficial and is going to push us forward. Whatever the thing is, even if the culture said that polygamy was a thing, I think that would be, as long as whatever is going to actually, nigga.
Nigga,
What
you
I'm
talking
saying,
out of both sides of your mouth is what you're doing.
how?
How? Because you saying that's not what you saying. You say, okay, let me recap so you can understand where I'm at.
Mhm.
You said you believe the man should lead the house, and I do too.
I believe men lead the culture.
You
Yes.
believe that men should lead the culture.
Right.
So you don't believe the man should lead the house. You said you corrected me. You
No,
said
I
that
was
you
going above. Like men should lead the house, which in turn should lead the culture. Go ahead.
okay. So okay. I see how you put that together. Then
Go
okay.
ahead.
I was speaking them separate, one
Okay.
thing to the next.
Mhm.
Stages.
Go ahead.
Okay. So then men as a whole should change the direction of the culture.
For sure.
In order to change the direction of the culture, is what I've been trying to say.
Mhm.
Is that means that every man will be with one woman,
Mhm.
and that's it.
Okay.
So that means if that's what you saying, then how you drop something off? You can't. So that means you're gonna wait on this one woman.
No, nigga.
Because
you just don't. There's
oh, so,
a growth to find
oh,
the person that you're gonna be with. So niggas still gonna have fun.
okay, so you get to fuck like rabbits until you find her.
What I'd say is that what you're gonna do is you're gonna intentionally be of course, as a child, you do what children do, and you just do whatever.
Okay, so
And then
you
you
saying
grow
we
to an
can,
age where you're intentional
and the
about,
switch you supposed to just
nigga, that ain't what I said.
okay, then it don't make sense. Okay, because if you say do what kids do, right?
Right.
Kids gonna fuck, right?
Right.
Okay, then. So as a man, young man, or a boy, because we start at boys these days and times, we start at boys, we're gonna be banging like rabbits, right?
Mhm.
And then on our 35th birthday,
Nigga, if it take you to 35 to settle
I
down,
just, I
your ass
just, I
fucked up.
just, I just came up with a
If
number.
it take you to
Okay,
35 to have
so
some dick
what?
discipline, you gonna be fucked up.
At 25, 20. Well, what's a good age? What do you think?
Well, I would say that once a man's once your frontal cortex is actually developed,
So
you'll start
25,
to
28,
understand discipline.
25, 28.
25 to 28, you should start dating
Okay.
with a purpose.
You should start dating with a purpose.
Right.
Okay. So from the time, let's say 15,
Mhm.
from 15 to 28, you
Mhm.
banging like rabbits.
Okay.
Then you're supposed to flip a switch at 29. And you looking for, quote unquote, the one.
Nigga.
Okay. No, nigga, that's what you saying.
That's the
You
go
go,
ahead,
you
go ahead.
looking,
You can
you
go ahead.
looking for the one.
The one.
The
Okay.
one. Yes. You
Okay.
because you can't touch nobody else. You got to wait until you find that one.
Nigga.
Nigga,
You trying to
hey,
have an ignorant
hey,
ass conversation.
can we
So you
ignorant
said,
my
no,
ass?
no, that's an ignorant ass conversation.
Will somebody please tell me? Is that, do that sound stupid?
No, what you saying sounds stupid as fuck because
No,
it's not
I'm asking, do what I say. Did what I say
it
sound? Is that not what he's saying?
sounds stupid as fuck.
Is that not what? Okay, check.
Let's see. SW said, or if a female asks you guys to move that said chair, you will be more than likely to move the chair than anything else. I'm not sure what she's
Oh,
talking
she's talking about the chairs we was talking about. Then when I was talking about the chair, asked you to help move the chair, and then I
Okay,
come out. There's
okay,
2 or 3 chairs. She back there. Okay,
okay. She
what
said y'all want housewives.
y'all want housewife?
You want a
Hell yeah,
housewife?
hell yeah, I want a housewife.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, I want one.
I'm with
Yeah,
that
I
juice.
want one. Hey,
I'm with that juice.
yeah,
A lot of women have been raised by single women, no men around, and we learn from our mothers in the streets. On only our mothers is not of our fathers. On the streets of our mothers is not on our fathers. Okay. If you don't have a father around, what is your example of your mother? I'm not sure exactly what she meant there. It's a different age range. He grew up in the age range for men. Took care of a woman. I grew up with it.
single woman.
Grew up with the same woman, taking care of her kids without a man. I would say that, like in general, I think that we're in a time period where people are starting to understand the importance of a man. I think that we're starting to understand the importance of a man
Because it's
because my
coming back
generation,
around.
it's coming back around.
It's
My
coming back
generation is
around.
the most single mother generation in history,
It's coming back around.
and the importance of a man. And I think that, like they say, like we was talking. Well, I put it on the joint. Is there a gender war? Is there a gender war?
Who was
I
young? Somebody at the
What
top.
do you see?
Go back up. Go. Yeah, scroll it. Yeah. Who's that? Young y'all. Spring yard.
Nigga, that's the platform we on.
Oh, that's what it is.
Oh,
Oh,
this the
okay.
old nigga shit.
Hey,
You talking
but
about
if I
this
don't
nigga
know, I don't know.
old.
I gotta ask, bro. Okay. I just thought that was somebody else. Okay. All right.
She said, let me see. Sound like we were missing a point. She said, speaking for a woman's point of view, the men singing the man singing with their single mother went through, and they want better for them and their kids, whether it's 2 or 3, you want better. I'm not sure exactly what you're meaning to explain to us, SW. I understand what Jay is coming
Love you.
from the two is story.
Love you too, baby.
Yep, love you. I think that, and I still stand. To me, it still stands. I think that we've created the monster that we now, not necessarily. So I think that the white man's patriarchy is the start of it, right? So then you get feminism as a, you know what I mean, revolt against patriarchy, right? Which feminism is the reason that divided the civil rights movement. So then that's what divided the black family, and then you get the Democrats implementing the government
Social,
assistance, John,
the
and
social
so
programs.
they've consistently undermined.
Our family
I would say the
structure.
black community, but shit, it's the same thing in the white community too.
Hey,
That's the thing. Like it's like the undermining of men. It's the same thing. It's like, man, it's like the idea of like minority as you look at now, like
and then women
how
got a cheat card too. Women got a cheat card. Women can satisfy each other, and you'll never know. She go hang out with her girlfriend. She be over her girlfriend house. They could be doing stuff with each other, and
jeez.
then come on home, and it's not considered cheating. But a man can't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, bro,
No, I get
they got so
they
many options,
and I
bro.
think that I'm not debating that I'm not debating that women have much more social freedom, even though
Mhm,
they'll say like they're the most oppressed group of, you know what I mean.
mhm.
I don't believe that because I think that they have so much more freedom than any women have more freedom than men, period. Whatever they decide to do, be men, female, however they strap ons, whatever the
Yeah,
fuck, they got a lot more freedom than we do.
yeah.
But
And,
my
and
only
and
point
and
is
they
that
can come, but see that thing about them too. The other part of that is they can do something else that we can't do. They can come back. They can come back. We can't come back. I seen on the show, my man, was talking about the girl, girls on girls and all this kind of
Mhm.
stuff. And he asked the bro, if she decided she didn't want to be with women no more and she wanted to come back, would you let her come back? He said, yeah.
Mm.
Then he asked the girl, he said, if bruh here had been, that you knew bruh for a fact had sucked 10 dicks,
No, you took this shit.
Yes. Then would you let him come back? She said, hell no. They get it all. They want everything, bro. They want everything. That's just a fact. You can try to make it sound like that we the problem all you want to. We
Okay.
don't get shit, bro.
Okay, let me ask you this.
We don't get those luxuries.
Damn, and that's cause it's tough to say. It's tough to say. But do you think that we've even allowed that to be normalized? Everything that they do, have we also,
Do we have a choice?
it's crazy because
Do we have a
I think
choice?
that what we've done is consistently tried to like say it's whatever you know what I mean, consistently tried to give them what they want, and then they just take a fucking yard
And we
every
take the
time.
pipe. We take the pipe. We take the pipe.
Yeah, I think like I said, I also still think that we could lead our community in a way.
Now
to
we
where-
can do a lot better with our community. I agree. But for as you trying to say that we the problem,
I didn't say we're the problem.
y-
I said that we can lead. We've created yeah. I said that we've created the monster that we now complain about.
which means we the problem.
That we've been I would say we've been the problem. Do you?
Well, every time I say something, because I don't put it in the, I guess in the order that you put it in, or use the terminology that you see. I'm straight shooting, bruh.